Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ohio Gripe. I have no idea what episode this is. I think we gave up doing that. As you can see, we have a new host. Ricky is joining us.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
No problem. So this is a monumus. Is that a word? Is monumus a word?
I don't think so.
Figures.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I did go to Maslin. I blame everything on Maslin.
I like Maslin. You should have went to Lake. What a shithole that was. All right. Not any random lake, by the way. There's a school called Lake. So we got a little bit of a different show today. Not really. I don't even know why I said. I guess I'm struggling for something to talk about. We do have some topics.
That's a first. You being speechless almost?
I'm always speechless. Usually Adam does the talking, and I just make fun of things. But we do have some topics today we're going to talk about. The missus sent me some links for things to do because summer is coming. And by the way, I know I've been mentioning this for like a year now, but I'm still trying to find a lawyer and or police officer who can join us so we can talk about traffic. So if you're listening and you know someone who's willing to come on, we're not going to, it's not an interview. It's just three guys talking. We're just going to talk about traffic, and I want someone here who actually knows the laws. So if you know somebody out there, ask them if they're willing to come on to Gripe so we can talk about traffic.
You know, it's kind of funny how you bring that up. I actually looked into being a police officer.
Ah.
I got to have everything turned in, I think, before April 5th.
Oh, you're doing it now?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to have our own cop, I'll tell you what.
I'd like to.
Guys better straighten up, or I'm going to sick Ricky on you.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that's coming eventually. And then we're going to try to get a landscaper on here because I want to talk about, yards and all that kind of stuff so you guys know what to do in the springtime. Because spring's coming up in like a month, so.
I might have somebody to do that one.
That'd be great.
The whole landscape, yeah. I might have somebody to do that one.
Yeah. Like, I know I have questions. I have a lot of weeds in my yard, so do you, put down fertilizer and or weed killer multiple times a year, or do you just do it in the spring, or what?
I've only ever done it once, and that was it. And I got yelled at by my mom and dad because I used Roundup.
Well, doesn't Roundup make a weed killer, or does it kill everything?
It kills everything, but it also gives you cancer.
Nice. So you really
supposedly
screwed up. So you had brown grass for a year and tumors.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah. Go figure, right?
Well, let's hope the second one isn't
But then
true.
again, what doesn't give you cancer anymore?
That's true.
So
that's true. You ever notice that when someone wants to scare you, they say give you cancer, but if you think about it,
everything does.
Everything does,
no
and you can
what.
get it anywhere and everywhere. So.
And personally, that's how I feel about the whole smoking and non-smoking thing.
Yeah.
You still get lung cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the big C. It sucks. So while everyone's running around worried about COVID numbers don't even touch cancer numbers.
And I just seen your post about Eric at Gojo.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, there's a GoFundMe page. You just go to ohogripe.com, go to, what do you go to? I think you go to events or something like that. I don't even know my own website. Sorry. Okay, you go to news. I think it's news and forums. Yeah, you go to news and forum. It's down there. It says help a friend in trouble. He just needs a few bucks because he got the big C and ended up having his bladder removed, and he can't work. So he's got bills. So if you guys want to help out a really good dude who deserves it,
he's a very good dude.
You can head on over to Ohio Gripe, and then that's got the link for the GoFundMe page. So yeah, so there's another friend that got the big C.
Every time I get the woman from Gojo at 2, I always see, what's his name? I can't remember his name. The other maintenance guy.
Oh, I don't know his name. Doesn't that suck? I've never asked him his name.
But I always see him. I always stop since I'm waiting on the woman. Just talk to him for a few minutes, and then going about my day.
Yeah. God, that's embarrassing. I actually don't know. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today, other than the Big C? Okay, well, there you go. That's it, Joe. That's the show. We're done.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but some of the stuff, I mean, you might not know about because...
Well, that's the good stuff. I like it when I get to learn something new.
Well, I just think it's funny because the gun law is changing, permitless carry.
Ah, yes. Do you know anything about that? I haven't actually looked into it.
It's... I'm against it, honestly.
Yeah, I can be too, but I don't know anything about, like, are there any rules?
No. As if you can legally buy a gun and obtain a pistol or firearm yourself legally, you can carry concealed carry with no permit, no training, no background, nothing.
No training.
And that's why I'm against it, because then you're going to have somebody like you, no offense.
Me?
You can just go buy a gun, carry it in your car or on your person the entire time, and call it a day.
Okay. Well,
But
I understand what you're saying, but you can trust me when I say I know how to handle a gun.
well, you know, some people might
Right.
not,
No, I
and
understand.
that's the
I understand.
thing.
You're going to get these jackasses who, whip out the gun because somebody cut you off.
Yep. And
Road rage and stuff like that. So
Yep.
as much as I am for less government, bigger people, I have to admit that it's difficult because I want to side on the fact that you trust everybody. Like the Old West. Everyone carries a gun. Crime goes down. The
Yep.
only problem is that's just not reality.
no.
There's people
Especially
out there
not now.
who just get mad at stupid shit, and they feel like they deserve retribution, and it's just too convenient. Whether it's open carry or concealed carry, I think it doesn't really matter. I mean, quite frankly, if you're going to get mad at someone, you should be able to control yourself, and it shouldn't become a problem.
And at that point, you shouldn't be allowed to carry a gun if you can't control your anger
Absolutely.
while having a gun.
Absolutely. And I mean, I understand how having everyone carrying a gun will lower crime, and I agree with that. But at the same time, it's only certain crimes, like robbery and maybe getting mugged or something like that. Maybe it'll be difficult for some lunatic to walk into a restaurant and just start executing people. However, just the traffic part alone,
Yep.
I think you're going to see a lot of, because there's a lot of guys out there who don't get arrested for big crimes, but they got attitude problems or they got anger issues, and they're going to carry now because, who knows,
They can.
1,000 different, they can, or they're trying to fit into the redneck stereotype. And those are the guys who end up, I watched a video not too long ago. There was this dude driving an F-150, and a car kind of was driving erratically and passed him. And he thought he saw someone in the car pull out a gun. So he rips his gun out at like 60 miles an hour and starts shooting at this car through the windshield.
That's different.
Yeah, meanwhile, the passenger of this truck is losing his shit because he's not driving. He's in the passenger side. The driver is not driving. He's firing a pistol out through the windshield. I mean, I saw that, and I'm just like, this guy not only just needs to not be able to carry a gun ever again, but he needs to go to jail. Like,
Yeah,
he
something
needs
like
to
that for
understand that is not even close to being responsible.
No.
He's a loose cannon.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always something more to know about laws and guns and everything. It's not something to joke around about. It's something that's going to be able to take your life.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you also have the people where I know somebody like this, they like to just kind of wave a gun around and say, oh, yeah, look at this.
Respect my authority.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I'm just going to leave because you're being a dumbass about it.
Yeah. Like when you go target shooting and the one guy doesn't realize that, he's pointing the gun at everyone as he talks. He's kind of waving it around. And you're like, dude.
Yep.
Or the other guy who, is there anything down there? Looks down the barrel.
Oh, it looks like there's a bullet in there.
Yeah, and then you get that shot of adrenaline and you just can't say no fast enough.
Yep. People are something else.
we mentioned that before. Adam and I talked about that a while back. It was a different context. We were talking about people who are scared of guns. And I was saying that you don't have to be afraid of guns. There's always a hunter or an ex-military person or a police officer who just ask. Hey, can we spend a day and you teach me safety, gun safety?
Well, and that's the thing. If you go and buy the gun from a range or anything, or you go buy it from Dunham's or Finn or anywhere, go to the range and tell them, hey, I just bought this gun, I don't know how to properly use it, clean it, take it apart or nothing. Like, I bought an AK-47 years ago. I sold it sold it shortly after I got it, actually. And never owned one before. I asked a dude how to take it apart, clean it, everything. I'm completely fine about it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be knowledgeable on something than...
Yeah, if pride is a problem, that's a good... I'm glad you brought that up. If you buy a gun and you're too proud to tell someone that, hey, can you show me the ins and outs, then you don't buy a gun.
Yeah, no.
If your pride is that big, you're the guy who's going to whip out the gun as soon as, somebody pulls out in front of you, or, you get some guy who's maybe, like a Karen or someone who's not quite right upstairs, and they start flailing, and, it's one of those things where whipping out the pistol should be the absolute last result. I'm going to die if I don't defend myself.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's like I said, as much as I kind of adhere to libertarian ideologies, I have to agree that not everybody should be armed. Some people are just like Billy the Kid, man. And
My thing is, I would rather much have somebody just go and take the class, or have the classes free to where you get the knowledge of it and understand the laws and the rules.
That's an idea. There's shooting clubs. What are those actually called? I've just known them as shooting clubs. They're like parks that are designated for shooters.
There's one in Canal Fulton. I can't remember the name of it, but I want to say it's right... what is that road?
Are you talking about the indoor range?
No, it's an outdoor one. I want to say it's Muzzleloader something.
That sounds familiar. I do know that there's an indoor range that's right off of Locust, which is Portage, if you're not from in Stark County. And that's an indoor range. That one's been there for decades. But
is that over off of Promway?
I don't know. You're talking about the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, it's off of Locust. It's right Main Street, right downtown.
I don't know
Actually,
that one.
I'm sorry, it's not downtown. It's what would that would be west of downtown. Doesn't matter. But anyway, so I didn't know there was an outdoor one, but muzzle loaders sound familiar. I've heard that name before.
There's one in Green too. It's outdoor. Me and my cousin went there once, and I just got my AR, I think. I changed the handguard and everything on it and made it look all spiffy. Went and spent $100 at the range alone just for the range time.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, would you give a car to a 16-year-old and not have him learn how to drive it? I mean, there's driver's ed for a reason. Just think of that. If you're going to buy a gun, you should kind of know about it. Otherwise, you can accidentally kill someone.
And personally, honestly, I don't think anybody should start driving until after they're 21.
That's a little late. I think...
I didn't get my driver's license until I was 21.
Well, yeah, but I got mine at 16. I never killed anybody.
Well, I just think teenagers now are too glued to their phones. They're not paying attention to driving.
That's true, but if you were going to do that, you'd have to wait until they were 40.
We can make it happen.
It's a compelling argument. I just said not too long ago on this podcast that in my personal experience, whenever I see someone driving that I consider to be crazy or bad, it's always a young woman or young girl.
Yep.
I'm not saying guys or boys don't drive bad. I'm just saying that the girls
when
these
you
days,
look, it is usually a woman.
It is, and I'm sorry if you get all offended. You're welcome to send us an email, call in, and argue your point. But that's just my personal experience. It's almost always a chick, and they're always either driving straight up your butt.
Yep.
Or they're watching their phone while doing 20 or 30 miles an hour down the road.
Yep.
Hey, now, are you watching us?
No, my buddy just wanted the link for it.
Oh, that's funny. I look over and we're on because we're streaming live on YouTube right now. So, but anyways, so yeah, I mean, We're not going to talk about traffic today. I really am going to wait until we get someone who's in that world and deals with it. Maybe we'll get a mortician. That'll be a scary one.
That could be very interesting.
It could be. It's like his entire point of view would simply, this was his kid that was smeared all over the road. This old man was half gone.
This is sad to say, but I've never really been on Facebook on my laptop, and I'm really confused right now.
No, it's not your laptop. Facebook is very confusing.
On my phone, not really, no. I'll do it on my phone, but laptop-wise, this is a whole different ballgame for me. I don't know what I'm doing.
I call it Failure Book. I think it's the worst website on the internet. And I'm not saying that because of like what goes on. I'm just saying as the website functions, it functions so poorly. It's un-user-friendly. It doesn't work half the time. It's got tons of glitches, and it's been around long enough to where it shouldn't be like that.
You would think.
But who knows? Who cares? Oh, we're dropping frames. Oh, well. We only dropped 180. That's not awful. All right. So, yeah, we're going to look a little bit more into this because, I mean, Dwayne is kind of a cautious guy. Unless he's trying to prove something, I don't know why he'll just drop it. Maybe maybe they're looking to make it to where if you buy a gun, you have to go through a class or a course.
No, he already signed it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that could be something that happens down the road.
I feel like they would already have tried that before they signed a permitless carry bill.
Yeah. I wouldn't be against that, even if it was me. I mean, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but if in order to buy a gun, you have to sign a paper saying that you would go to some. Hell, I would think that was fun, especially if it was free. I'd look forward to it.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like if the class was free, I mean, granted, it takes time away from the NRA instructor and everybody else doing the class, but I feel like if it was free, more people would do it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, how much does it cost?
I did mine at AJ Harris Tactical when they were in downtown Massillon before they closed when I was 21. Paid $60, I think.
That ain't bad at all.
But that's because I had my own gun, the own ammo and all that. If you had to rent from them, I think you paid $100 for the class. They give you a gun and ammo for it. So
still,
even that's still not bad though.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Would you rather spend, the extra $40 and not have to spend $500 for a new gun?
Yeah, because guns are expensive.
Yes,
but either that, or you can spend $100, or you can accidentally tag your friend with a stray bullet because you didn't realize to look for what's behind the target, or like these jackasses, like that dude shooting through his windshield. I mean, those bullets are going somewhere. And they'll ricochet off the street if they don't hit the car.
Yep.
I mean, he could have tagged all kinds of people. Just the level of stupidity with that. He's irresponsible and should never be able to own a gun again. Even if, they say the older you get, the wiser you get. When you're that level of stupid, he obviously just doesn't have it. He shouldn't have a weapon because he obviously doesn't. I'm just going to shut up because I keep saying the same thing. Sorry. He shouldn't have it. He just shouldn't have a gun because he's responsible. And he shouldn't be responsible. Anyways.
You would think, but not necessarily all the time either.
That statement has two. Yes, you would think, but you don't do it all the time.
Nope.
You're right. I do think sometimes, but not all the time.
I don't. Sometimes I just do it and then I get yelled at later on.
All right, I want to talk about this real quick. In Stark County, we are getting our first Myers. Now, if you don't know what that is, I guess you will.
I'm so excited.
Is it a grocery store? Or
it is like Walmart, but better.
Okay.
Me and the woman, we drove to, I want to say it was Stowe, was the closest Meijer to us.
Damn.
We drove all the way up there. It was like 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back.
Yep.
Drove there, loved it. I can't wait for the Meijer to open.
So they have everything.
Exactly like Walmart, but bigger and better in every way.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That's good, because I can't stand Walmart.
I can't either.
It's not just the clientele. Their associates don't know anything. Sorry, but that's the truth. You could be standing in towels. You know where the face towels are? I'm not sure. I think they're in aisle 12. Where's aisle 12?
Over the rainbow.
I'm not sure where aisle 12 is. I've only worked here for 3 years, so I'm still learning a lot. Thank you. Please stop talking. I'm going to go over here. But anyways. So yeah. So Stark County's getting their first Meijer. It's absolutely huge. And do you know when it's going to be opening?
April 28th, I do believe.
Oh, he's so excited. He knows the date.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. So you have no idea. I had to go to Walmart last night because I had to get dog food, and just being there, it just made me mad.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes,
Meijer,
yes,
can't wait till you open.
As soon as you walk through the door, you have this foreboding feeling. Like, it's like I just moved into the trailer park.
I can't wait for Meijer.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that. I thought I was the only human being that felt that way. As soon as you walk into a Walmart, you just feel bad. You feel like you've lowered yourself. And then at the same time, you're in there. You chose to go in the place. You're going to spend your money there.
Yep.
So there's like half the feeling is like, I need to leave. I can do this tomorrow morning at a reputable store. And at the same time, you're like, I need these groceries and I work hard for my money, so I'm going to give it to this horrible place.
You know, and then you regret it afterwards.
Well, usually afterwards, I'm so excited to get out of there that I don't think of that.
Yeah.
Like, I used to laugh at people back in the day. We're talking the 90s when they say, oh, I never go to Walmart. I go to Kmart. And back then, I'm like, what's wrong with you? What's the difference? Walmart's cheaper. But now, after Walmart's been here for 20 years, at least in the area that I live, yeah, they were right. Kmart was so much better.
I've been in a Kmart a lot, but I vaguely remember it.
Yeah.
I remember they had what was it, Pizza Hut and Little Caesars in there.
Yeah. The thing about it is I'm in this area in Stark County. There's one in Massillon. There was a Kmart in Massillon, and there was one in North Canton. Those were the last two to close. For the last, I'm going to say 8-9 years of those stores' existence, they kind of became scarce as far as like their products and I know the one in Massillon, they kind of quit taking care of the building. So you go in there and there'd be like, water stains on the acoustic ceiling and some of the tile will be busted up. And the racks were like, used to be chrome, but now there's rust on them. And that vibe, when you go in and you see that, it just makes you feel like you're in a crappy place.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the only store in this area that sold my size, my clothes size. Walmart doesn't sell my clothes size. And even if they do, if you buy the right size pants, one wash in cold water, and those pants shrunk 12 sizes.
Yep.
Kmart's clothes didn't do that. Now I have to go to Tractor Supply. How pitiful is that? If I don't buy the clothes off the internet, I have to go to Tractor Supply. It's about the only place that has my size. But from what I hear, everyone has that problem. That's what I heard. Like, even skinny people. Well, that's just everyone. I can never find clothes to fit, so I guess we need to quit having Indonesia make all our clothing.
Whatever happened to the great American-made product?
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm a little excited. The only thing I fear is that when they open, you're not going to get near the place. Like, all of northeastern Ohio is going to ascend onto this place. That's my fear, is it'll be like 6 months before the wife can... Because I can't handle tons and tons of people.
Nobody can.
I remember years and years ago, I went to Chicago. And my aunt, who lived in Chicago at the time, wanted to take me to the taste of Chicago. Because unlike the taste of Canton or the taste of, my garage, Chicago was gigantic with all these authentic, Italian restaurants. And she knew I would love it. But when I got there was 1 million people there. And I'm not joking. That's not exaggerated. There was 1 million people. It was just an ocean of people, and I got so overwhelmed so quickly that my aunt took one look at my face and said, "We can go." And I'm just like, the lines, you would literally stand in line an hour to get a bowl of pasta. Now, I'm sure that pasta tastes amazing, and I just thought, is it really worth it? You know, just go to these every vendor there was a restaurant. So she said, we can go.
I'm only going to stand in line for an hour if it's fair food.
Even then, I won't do it.
Oh, I love my elephant ears and funnel cakes, man.
I know, but you can always, take a day off work and go early in the morning or go late at night right before they close and get the same thing with less. You don't go in the busiest time. Actually, I think fairs are more fun after dark anyways.
Oh, yeah.
You go there like dusk to play with the animals, and then you hang out somewhere, and then you eat after dark.
Apparently, there's a Meyer store in Jackson that will be open April 28th, too.
In Jackson? Is that? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's Jackson.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Hills and Dales, and yeah, that's Jackson. I don't know what their actual address is, but that's considered Jackson. I mean, that's right there at Belton Village.
Yeah, they tore the old golf course down.
Yes.
Put it in.
Yes, I do remember that. And sorry, golfers. You have other places to go.
I've always wanted to try to get in golf. I just don't have the patience for it.
I know a guy who'll probably take you under his wing.
I just don't have the patience for it at all.
Okay, I'm going to go off key a little bit and talk to Rick here because we used to work together. So Rick and I both used to work at Gojo. Rick no longer works there.
No, I do not. Thank God.
But Dom and Jake both play. These are people we used to work with. They both play golf, and they were talking about golf. Now, I used to work at Source One. That's a repo place. I've mentioned it. And its sister company, actually, it doesn't matter. Sister company is Skipco. Okay, they're both owned by the same family. And the guy who runs it right now, Keith Blowers, is a golfer, along with my old boss, Ryan, who I think is a wonderful person, also golfs. And I was thinking, we were on the computers doing our learning lessons and stuff. And I looked at Dom and I said, I would love for the top wigs at Gojo, whether it be the Navarre building or, Littman,
any of them,
to go against Skipco. The top wigs at Skipco against the top wigs, whoever's willing to do it, at Gojo. Because I personally think that Skipco would kick their ass. The vibe I got from those guys working there, yeah, I think they would, it'd be a hell of a game. I think that Skipco would take Gojo.
Well, I mean, isn't everybody else there a little older?
What, at Gojo?
Skipco.
No. Everybody who runs Skipco is younger than me. Now, don't get me wrong, the older generation like Skip himself, because his son Keith runs the place.
Right.
Skip is semi-retired. Now, he's older, but I guarantee you...
I was going to say, because, I mean, if you're retired, you got all the time in the world. Yeah,
yeah, but Keith is not only running Skipco and Source One, but he's also running for trustee of Canal Fulton, so...
good for him.
Yeah, so he's a busy mofo. And I still think... I could be wrong. Maybe the big wigs at Gojo...
I mean, the only ones that I know that played golf was Toby, and then... Jake and Dom, but they're technically an associate, so...
Yeah, but you can't tell me Manny doesn't play golf. I won't believe that for a second.
I don't know. He's technically military reserve or something, so he's got to go like every weekend or whatever the case is. I don't know it.
I'll have to slip that. I'll send Ryan a text, and then I'll talk to... I want to see it happen. I want to see Gojo against Skipco, because there's just something deep and down. I could be wrong, but there's something deep and down that says that I think the management
the only golf
team...
course I know around here anymore is the Legends by Walmart.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't golf, so I know a bunch. I know there's more.
There's one right down the road from us. But anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of them. But I would love to see that Skipco versus Gojo. I think Skipco take them. Unless it's just like... The only way it wouldn't happen or couldn't happen is if... Because I don't know how golf works. So I don't know how many...
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know how many people get on a team, if there is such a thing as a team. So, because I know Skipco is a much, much smaller. I think they're like a 200-person company as opposed to Gojo is just gigantic.
Now, if you're going to talk about laser tag, I'm in for that one. I'm in for laser tag.
I'm too big of a target. Like, I thought about paintballing, but the way they do it is not the way I want to do it.
See, that's when you just hide in a corner and laser tag and just sit there and then get yelled at because you were not supposed to be doing that. I mean, what was that? Laser Quest?
Yeah.
Out and about it? They closed down, I'm pretty sure, though.
Yes, they did. And I felt bad. This is so strange. I felt bad because I always wanted to go there but never made it. And we're talking, they were open for like decades. And I'm like, they closed down. Oh, but I wanted to go there. And his
Another
voice
20 years later.
Yeah, and the voice in the back of my head said, well, you had plenty of time, fat ass.
Yep.
So, yeah. I always wanted to do paintball, but I wanted to do it like in a forest, like sniper type paintball. Not this, hide behind shit and then 2,500 times. But
that's what me and one of my buddies did. It was speedball. Loved it.
But that was always something, You get this big forest, and one team starts at one end, and the last one standing.
Most places said it was like I don't know. I know one was out towards Tussle. I want to say it was Rapid Fire. He called it the Iraq warfare area.
Yes!
And
the safest way to play war.
And it was just a whole bunch of stuff scattered throughout the woods. You just hide and run through the woods, shoot people, and call it a day.
See, that's when I want to get these gamers who are like awesome at Call of Duty. Let's see you do it in real life. And I'm a fat dude, so you'll be able to see me from far away.
A lot of them are doing airsoft now lately anymore.
I don't know what that is.
Paintball, but just little plastic.
Oh,
baby.
the yellow, yellow. Oh.
Yellow, or they're multicolored. So yeah.
Yeah, that's just paintball light. It's paintball that doesn't leave a mark.
Some of them could.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the funny thing about paintball is if you don't hit the armor.
Yep.
And then you got him because you hear that from across the, yeah, I got him.
Me and my buddy, we were doing speedball, and I was laying down at the snake. I laid down, popped out a little bit. I got shot in the finger, and it was so cold. It was probably like 32 degrees out.
Nice.
I was like, yep, I'm done. I literally just got up. I was like, I'm out. I got shot.
You were the angry guy.
Oh, gosh. It was terrible.
He's angry because he got out. No, I'm angry because it hurt.
Oh, God, it hurt my finger so bad. It was my pointer finger, too, and it sucked. And then there was another time he had like a little tournament kind of deal there, and me, my buddy, and like 13 other people were all there. Since it was just me and my buddy, we decided, like, oh, yeah, let's just team up with somebody, So we have our third. We got our third, and one guy, he was the first one out, and then it was me. Well, I decided I got shot in the helmet, and I had, paint splatters smack dab on my glasses. I step out, and somebody lit me up 72 times. Not fun.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. I mean, like the Nerf thing is okay, but the paintball, you get a little higher level because you get that pain. You really do feel like you're in a somewhat of a warfare.
Well, that's the thing. You can have the paintball guns chrono to everything. So I know one guy, he could have his paintball gun shoot up to 100 balls in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just absurd. What do you need that for?
By the way, I'm not actually comparing paintball to war. So, all of you veterans out there, nothing compares to war. It is horrible. So, again, not comparing the two. Just saying that if you want to act out a video game, I think paintball is the way to go. It's expensive, though, so it's something you definitely got to invest in.
I think I spent $500 on a paintball gun itself.
Damn.
And that was years ago.
Is that still popular?
Not really, no.
So it's dying off?
Kinda, I feel like. At least around here it is, because I know there's only one other place, because Rapid Fire, the guy, he started getting ill, so he basically closed his entire shop and everything, and then the only one now is, I want to say it's called Intense Paintball out on 62.
Okay. That's
the only one I know of around here anymore.
So there you go. If you own a large spit of land with some woods, a little bit of planning, some, lawyer paperwork, and you could bring it back. I mean, that paint is biodegradable, right? It don't damage anything.
Oh, yeah, no. Maybe back in the day it did, but with everything advancing how it is now, it's not going to do nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe something we can get into, By the way, it's getting close to springtime, so we're going to start trying to get ourselves out there, so you might be able to stop in and say hello someplace. Don't have any places as of now, but I know that our Halloween outing did so well that we're definitely going to be doing that again.
I really wanted to go to that too, and I was sick.
Everyone was sick. That's why I was like a little irritated, because it's like the one excuse. Marcus said he was sick. The only one who showed up was Dom.
Yeah, I remember Dom texting me that he was there, and I was like, dude, I would so go too, but I'm sick and I'm not moving.
Yeah. So, and a bunch of people that I invited that you haven't met yet, they were also sick. So, like I said, when you get like 12 texts and they're all sick, you kind of, a little bit of a red flag there. But what are you going to do? I think it's just the fact that we were still so new.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. I'm glad we did it. We had a good time. We set up our little tent. It looked pretty good. We had our snacks, and we were giving away all kinds of stuff. And thanks to Gojo, we had a bunch of Purell sanitizer, and people scarfed that up like it was gold. We had these big bottles of it that I got from Gojo, and it's like, here, this is all free. And people were like just grabbing multiple jars of it, and so, that's good. That's nice. We'll do that again. Gojo's always willing to give some freebies out.
I got nothing nice to say about them. Just throwing that out
I bet
there.
you still use their products, though, don't you?
I have to. The woman brings it home from work.
There you go. There you go. You don't have to like working for them, but
it wasn't even the fact of that. It was just the management I did not care for. All the employees, I loved everybody I worked with. And then management comes along and it's just, no, I don't do it.
Yes, I know what that's like. I've worked for some pretty crappy companies over the years.
I did too. First one was Shears that popped into my head.
I've heard nothing but horrible things about that
Oh,
place.
yes, no, terrible.
If you work at Shears, or if you are management at Shears, you are more than welcome to reach out and either defend or we'll have a conversation. We're open to that. These are our opinions, and you're allowed to have a different opinion. But I am curious, because Shears is a big company, and all I know is the consumer part of their products. I eat Shears potato chips, but I have heard a lot. Another one is Sterilite.
I heard Sterilite was terrible, but I couldn't tell you that because I never worked there.
Right, same here. It's just rumors, and I've heard it. Sterilite, if you don't know, makes like plastic items, like totes,
storage containers and everything.
And I've heard through the grapevine that working there is very, very difficult.
I want to say I think my buddy did, but he was allergic to the plastic, I think, or something along that line.
Yeah. Now, this is funny. I'm going to keep going on this. I don't care who I offend. The worst job I have ever had. And I've been working since I was 14. I'm now 48, do the math. The worst job. Now, the very first job I had was McDonald's, but it wasn't the worst job I ever had. The worst job I ever had was a company in Cuyahoga Falls named Structol. And I hope, well, I don't hope, but if someone who works there wants to call in and, like, hey, buddy, no problem. We can talk. We can talk. You're allowed to have your opinion if you love your job. But I thought that job was horrible. Just horrible. It had nothing. It had nothing good about it. It was a hot, steamy job. And, of course, I don't do well with humidity, so that was bad. Management was bad. The employees, even though they tried to get along with each other, there was an underlying just feeling of frustration and anger. As soon as you walked in the break room, you could kind of feel it. They'd have their little groups and their friends, and a couple of them were trying to be in a good mood, but you could just feel this underlying feeling that nobody wanted to be there.
I felt like that, like Gojo.
And so, yes, and then, of course, the job itself was just miserable, and the guy, the supervisor, lead, whatever you want to call him, was a complete jackass.
Most of them are, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, they're mostly going to be a jackass.
And that's frustrating. Now, anyways, so that was it. That was awful, and it was just a bad place to work. And I ended up not quitting, but kind of getting. I was a temp, so you don't get fired, but they kind of called the temp service.
They end your assignment.
Yeah, and so the guy called and he's like, "Well, they don't want you back," and I'm like, "Oh, thank God." And he says, "Well, I can look," and I said, "Nope, I'm done, buddy. I'm not working for your company anymore." And this was the temp service. I can't remember the name of it. I just said, that was so bad that I don't want anything else you guys have. And I ended up, I can't remember where I went after that. I think it was EB Wire in Maslin, which wasn't a bad job, but it also had one of the worst. This is hilarious. So I've seen this guy out and about.
Oh, jeez.
And I think my wife claims that she thinks she went to high school with this Jagoff. So EB Wire was a decent company. And nice. It wasn't too big. It wasn't too bad. But at the time I worked there, they had a dude who went to college to be an accountant. Right? So he worked numbers. And somehow he weaseled his way into being production or just general manager of the whole place. Well, he was a Jagoff. And I mean, he was a serious Jagoff. And he still is a Jagoff today. So the company was kind of going down. This was around 2008. So it was way before COVID and all that BS. And we're dropping more frames. Judas. Anyways, so, and he's, he just completely arrogant, didn't care about anyone's opinion, didn't think anything through, just shot from the hip, all emotion, no brains. And I think he pulled us into a meeting and he said the company's not doing well and everyone has to take a 10% pay cut.
Oh, wow.
And he said, everybody. And I kind of looked around because I was shocked to hear that, and I'll tell you in a second why. And I was looking to see if anybody else thought of what I did. And I think at the time they were all just like, crap, 10%, I can barely eat now. And as we're leaving, I looked at my boss at the time and I said, half of these people in this building work at state minimum. You can't take 10% off of, state minimum.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because a few minutes after that, we had to go back to work, and then he called the department I worked in into the office, and he reamed every single one of us because we weren't working hard enough. And
go figure.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, first off, it's not our fault. If our supervisor was happy with our performance, you should have just be talking to him instead of reaming people.
Yep.
Anyway, so that gave me a real bad taste in my mouth, and I just kind of just sat there with this sour look on my face because I couldn't believe this Jagoff was going, yelling at people never works. When you're a supervisor or a lead person or a boss, bitching at someone, it just doesn't work. You just piss them off, and they work worse after that.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not saying you have to kiss people's ass, but there's a way to get people to work without you're this and you're that and you're not doing this and you're not doing that. You only do that as a last resort.
Couple of people at GoJo.
They never done that to me.
Oh, dude, it felt like I had a target on my back there.
But anyways, so he ended up, they were doing a trial run of like a midnight shift. And they made me the lead because I was the only one willing to go to midnight shift. So they gave me a bunch of temps who never worked it before. I had to train them and, guide them and all that. And then one temp made they were packing up displays is what it is. So if you go to, like your grocery store and you see a liquor display, a Jack Daniels display, we made those kind of displays. And every time we made a display, you had to put directions on how to erect it, basically, set it up. Well, this guy forgot all those directions, so he must have packed up 7 of them without the directions. No big deal, right? I mean, it's just you just forward a PDF to the company and say, oops, or give them a couple for free. You fix it. But no, this was a big deal. And I got written up, and then it happened a couple other times with other temps, and they ended up firing me.
Oh, wow.
At the time, I was upset until the very next day, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, screw that. I'm glad they fired me. And then I found out a month after that the Jagoff that I was talking about ended up getting fired himself. The owner canned him because probably because he took 10% off of people's pay and it got him in trouble legally.
Yeah, I'd quit too.
But anyways, so that was that. So I went from the worst job I ever had to a job that wasn't bad, but there was just that one guy who had no idea what he was doing.
You have that everywhere too. If you notice that, you're always going to have somebody that's just kind of lost, even though they've been there for years, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
I had my wife on a couple episodes back. Actually, it might have been the last episode. And my wife does very well. She's very good at, what's the word I'm looking for? Leading, or I can't think of the word. Anyway, she's very good at what she does. And then there's people who are very good at being employees. They're very good at being coworkers. They're very good at, just working hard for the company. But when you put them in the leadership position, they have no idea how to deal with people. Yep. And that's an actual talent. I mean, you can be taught that, but you have to go to these classes and they tell you, how to deal with people. If you're one of these people who talk down or talk at, it's not going to work. You don't talk at people. People aren't stupid. We all say to each other, "Oh, you're stupid. You're stupid." But the truth matter is, we aren't stupid. We can detect, bad candor pretty quickly.
Yes.
And it's unnecessary. You don't need to talk down to people to get them to do things. Trust me, I've had positions of leadership several times. I've also been the supervisor of one company, and I did really well in the employees that I had. Now, I haven't been in charge of a huge department, like maybe 6, 7 people tops, and that's always easier. The more people you have, the more difficult it is. But I've never once had someone complain about, oh, he's mean, he's this, he's a tyrant, he's this, But it's just you got to learn that stuff. It's not something you can wing it, because everybody's different, and you have to know how to deal with. You have to know how to deal with the ass kisser, who doesn't really work. He's just always kissing your ass and trying to do things to make himself look good. And then you have to learn how to deal with the guy who doesn't want to frickin' be there. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to work. He's not happy. But somehow you need to get him motivated enough, because what's the point of keeping him on as an employee if he's not going to do anything? I mean, that's a two-way road. You get paid, you have to work, period. And then you have to learn how to deal with the guy who's either on drugs or, he's like me. I'm the one of the guys, and I'm always daydreaming. I try to shut it off, but it doesn't work. So I get, in my little daydreaming states, and I drift off. You got to learn, someone like me, you just say, hey, focus. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry. And then get back at it. You got to know how to deal with these people. It's not easy, but it can be taught if you just put forth the effort to teach your supervisors or leads, or take it upon yourself. So that's that.
I feel like, I'm hesitant to say it because I don't want to get people in trouble, but I feel like some people at Gojo need to go back to those classes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think they offer them at all. Do you know
it shows?
Yeah,
it shows.
I've said that myself. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. You have to do it. If you're a company...
I mean, even if it was like a little online training course or something at least.
My wife went to seminars. I called them the hotel seminars. And a lot of times, the problem with the hotel seminars, I have a problem with those too, is they do a lot of psychology. How to psychology your employees into working. The problem is that shit doesn't work. Usually, it's just a matter of respect. Be stern with the ones that need to be stern with. Respect the ones that need to respect. And the ones who don't have a problem, don't pile all the work on them, because they'll do it. It's basically that simple. Now, there's a lot more to it, but that's basically the underlying thing to it. But yeah, I completely agree. If you take a position of even leadership, they should at least send you to some of these seminars, or at the very least have the seminars come to the company. Because it's what do they call that? Investing in the future of the company.
Yeah.
And I hate it when they, how do I put it? I hate it when they make someone a boss, basically. A boss, let's use that word. It could be a lead, it could be supervisor, manager, doesn't matter. Let's just say a boss, for no other reason than that person has worked for the company for a long time.
And they have no experience doing anything.
And they suck at, talking to people, but hey, you've worked here for X amount of years, so we'll give you this position. They say, wait a minute now. Two things need to happen in order to be a boss. One, you have to know everything about everything, because who do you think people are going to come to when they don't know what they're doing?
They're coming to you.
Yeah. So you have to know that. And secondly, you have to know how to deal with people. You have to know how to deal with problems. What if a fist fight breaks out and you're the boss? All the employees are going to come to you. But now all of a sudden it's on your head. Do you just stand there and let these guys battle it out? Or do you get in the middle of it where you can get punched? I mean, I'm sure that particular scenario is probably taught. But, very quickly.
That happened at Shears a couple times.
Did it?
When I was there, I think it was 4 years I was there was 2 fights that broke out. And then one guy, he was on midnights, basically threatened one guy. I think he was on afternoons too, which is funny because we were leaving when midnights came in, so I don't understand why you would have threatened anybody, but whatever. And a day later, he got fired.
Oh, yeah. I think I mean, obviously, if you start a fist fight, then
oh, yeah,
that's evident.
Well, when the 2 guys got into a fight, they just waited till one was done. That was it.
Wow.
They just let them fight it out, and then next thing you know, they both got fired.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough call when there's an instigator, and then they say if you got into the fist fight, then it's, you share half the responsibility because you could have walked away. Sometimes that's not always possible. Sometimes you can't walk away and you have to defend yourself.
I don't think I would ever walk away from somebody trying to hit me.
I would. Yeah, I would. I'd be like, first off, I don't have ego issues, so, fuck off. I'll just walk away. But if they come after me then...
I mean, if it's something stupid, then yes.
Yeah.
But if
you try to walk away and then they're still pursuing you, then that's it's not going to stop, so you're just going to have to defend yourself. But I wouldn't stand there and let someone just take a shot.
No.
I'm not about to take a shot to the face because of someone's angry. But there's a limit, and you have to judge every single scenario independently. So, but yeah, it's murky waters. I always wondered about grown adults who get into fist fights. First off, they may be grown, but they're not adults.
I mean, yes and no.
I would love to hear the yes. What scenario did you think a fist fight? Now, I'm not talking about defending yourself. I'm talking about starting it.
Okay, well, it's not really a fist fight. It's more of a gunshot.
What? Well, that escalated quickly.
Cain Velasquez, granted, doesn't live in Ohio, but he found out somebody was doing certain things, and next thing you know, he tried to kill him. Okay. He missed and shot his stepfather.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention it. If you want to know anything, just Google Cain Velasquez. He's a UFC fighter.
Oh, he's the one that went to jail because that dude raped his daughter.
It was his daughter or his son. They won't release anything just because it's a minor, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently it's happened over 110 times, I think I seen an article.
With the same person?
Yes, same person. It was his longtime friend's mom's house. She ran a daycare out of her house, and Cain Velasquez would pay her to watch his kids.
Yeah.
Well, one thing led to another, and apparently it was 110 times, I think I seen an article read.
Oh.
And he found out, and being the person that he is, he probably lost it pretty quickly. I'm sure anybody would.
Yeah.
And he went to go, and he chased him, I don't know, probably 5 miles in his car. They were driving, and he didn't want to get out, and then he got out, and next thing you know, tried to shoot him, and then the guy's stepdad or somebody jumped in front of the way.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, well, first off, the red flag, he's a UFC fighter, right?
Yep.
So why does he get a gun?
Because I don't remember if I read it right or not. If he would have fought him outside of an octagon, he would face more time than he would by shooting him.
You want to run that one past me again?
Since he's legally not allowed to fight outside of the octagon, he could get in trouble with so many different reasons and ways.
So, if he has a choice between fighting someone with his fists or shooting someone, you're saying that shooting someone is a less offense?
For him, maybe. I think. I could be wrong. I don't remember.
I want to know what state this guy resides in.
That I don't remember.
That is a level of stupidity that I don't think I've ever heard before. I would much rather get punched, kicked, grappled by a UFC fighter than shot by anyone. Let Joe Rogan pop me in the face a few times or do a chokehold before he shoots me.
I just Googled it. Their hands and feet are considered cold weapons, and they can get in serious legal trouble if they get caught fighting outside. In terms of fighting and other sports or promotions, UFC usually forbids it strictly with a contract.
Yeah, but shooting someone sends you to prison, which also negates all contracts.
Yes, but if he wanted to fight in the UFC again, they would probably revoke his license for it. At least if you shot somebody, you don't have a license to revoke.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. That's so weird. I mean, if you're going to go after someone for hurting your kid, would the UFC contract even matter? Would you be thinking that? I don't know.
Oh no, that's out of the question. I could care less about it. And then there's so many people trying to help him. Like, I get it. I mean, he did a right thing. Terrible way about it, but whatever.
Well, I hate to say it. Everyone's going to hate me for saying this, but we shouldn't take the law in our own hands, especially when the damage has already been done
110 times.
I know, but you're still playing cleanup. So
yes,
but his form of cleanup got him in trouble.
Yes,
definitely
did.
I know. Believe me, I know it's hard, but that's the logical, cool-headed way of doing it. You just let the law. I mean, the law takes that shit pretty seriously.
Yeah, and it was only a matter of time before they found out or whatever. But
well, he did find out, so you should. I mean, I understand. I understand the emotional and then the hurt. Because you're trying to protect your kid, trying to give him a good life, and then here something horrible happened 100 times. Oh my God!
Yeah, and it was in
a place he trusted.
Yep.
I get it. I do. I understand, and that's why I don't really have an opinion on him. I mean, people handle horrible situations differently, but I just wanted to say that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to take the law in your own hands. If everyone did that, it would be a pretty horrible country. But I still get it. I get it. So, if you have a different opinion, I understand. I just kind of needed to say that.
There's always different opinions.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, some people shouldn't have one, honestly.
Oh, we're still talking about guns? Yes. I mean, yeah, that's just the reality of it, I mean, I understand that, it's America, right to bear arms, 100%. But keep in mind that the right to bear arms, it wasn't intended for us to kill each other. It was intended for us to make sure the government don't take control.
Every time I hear right to bear arms, I just think of the meme where somebody's literally got bare arms as his hands. Every time I think of that, I just instantly go there, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's funny.
But, so, yeah, I'm curious out there in podcast land. What do you think? Do you think it's wise to just have, no law? I mean, do they do that in Texas?
There's 22 states, I think, altogether that don't have a license for it.
If you have one, you can carry it.
Yep, like West Virginia. I only know that because my family lives there.
Well, see, that changes things, because then you can look at those states and see what the crime rates. How often does...
But my thing, I mean, we got some cities in Ohio that are pretty...
sketchy?
Well, not even that. Just dumb. Just dumb.
Dumb cities.
Yes, altogether, as a whole, just dumb cities. And then...
Like what?
Oh, there's too many.
Oh, okay.
But then you go to West Virginia, it's like everybody's the southern twang, and everybody just loves everybody down there. It's so nice and peaceful, and then you come up here, and then it's like, oh,
well,
crap.
we are a northern state, if you think about it. We are at the top of the country. So we don't have the southern lifestyle going on in Ohio.
I mean, I know that, but you go to West Virginia or Texas or something, it's everybody loves you down there.
Yeah, I haven't been anywhere of those places. I've been out west, but I haven't been south.
I've been to Texas, and I was like 10 years old. I was with my grandpa getting to see
Moonshine.
my uncle.
Huh?
Moonshine's in West Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's where I get mine.
We used to have to go to West Virginia to get good fireworks, but this year, fireworks will be legal.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I got a garage full of fireworks right now.
Is it legal to set them off?
Yes.
Or?
Yes. Not yet. It won't be legal till July.
Okay.
The law kicks in July, but right now, it's always been legal to buy them. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, every time I go, they always made you sign a paper saying you can't light them off here or something like that.
The funny thing is all the fireworks places that I buy fireworks from has my old address. And that's kind of how I did it. Like, did you still live on this street? Yes. Yes, I do.
Totally.
And then we would set them off. But that's kind of how you had to do it. You bought them. You didn't buy anything massive or anything that took a long time, because once the cops see it, they'd come and look for you.
Oh, yeah.
But we still did it. But this year it's going to be legal. So we'll talk about that a little more towards 4th of July. I want to go over just some of the do's and don'ts, maybe the, like make sure you point them in the right direction. You don't want to set anybody's house on fire. And that's kind of what I fear. Whenever we talk about 4th of July and setting off fireworks, my fear is I'm doing something that's fun, festive. I don't want that to turn ugly or bad. So I'm always trying to think of ways to, set fire. Because if you think about it, fireworks are flaming, flying balls of fire.
Yep.
So you just got to be responsible. And we'll touch in a little bit more on that probably in around June or so. We'll go over that, try to find some do's and don'ts, some tips for you just to keep it safe. Make sure you have kitty approved fireworks for the kitties, because kitties are impulsive and they don't know what they're doing. Make sure your animals like dogs and that aren't in an area where they can get it. There's a video. I love it. It's a dachshund. This guy put up a Roman candle and he stuck the candle in the ground.
Oh, the dog comes up and grabs it,
and he's running around
yep.
and it's shooting these flaming balls at people. It's absolutely hilarious, but it could have gone bad.
Oh yeah,
real quick. You could have hurt the dog. The dog doesn't know what it is. But so we'll go over that. We'll touch on some of that here. And then,
my big thing is respecting the veterans if you live near them. The big booms and bangs might freak them out sometimes.
Yeah, but here's the thing: how do you know? That could apply to me because we're going to be setting off fireworks this year. I don't know everybody who lives in my neighborhood.
I don't either. But then again, I only got like 5 houses on mine, so I kind of know everybody.
I hear what you're saying, and I understand that, but it's like, is there a way to find out? Because now I imagine fireworks are going to be going off everywhere.
Like crazy.
So is it our responsibility to worry about the veterans, or is it because, and I'm not saying that to be a dick, like screw them. I'm saying it as opposed to if everyone shoots off fireworks, it's like there's a guy down the street that's, kind of sketchy and big noises could really fuck him up. But the guy on the other side of the street may not know that. So ultimately, whose responsibility is that? Is it his or his family's?
I feel like it'd be both.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, like, say he comes outside and, asks you to stop nicely and everything. Or
that's different.
Just like,
yes.
Go somewhere else
if he politely has a good reason, I know you're being festive, but this is, I'm going nuts. Then I'll be like, oh, man, I apologize. I'll
right.
quit.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're just like, fuck you, man, I'm going to do what I want to. What you can do? What you can do, bro? What you can do? What you can do? Then that guy deserves to be punched really hard.
Yep.
So there you go. Again, we'll talk about this a little later on, but that's just an Ohio gripe tip. If someone politely asks you to stop, it's for a reason. So friggin' quit it. Or go out, and that's the best thing. Grab the family and go out into a big field or something like that.
Yep.
There's always, some out-of-the-way place.
Yeah, and then just run like hell if the owner comes.
That's responsibility for you. See how responsible you are?
But leave a note saying you'll come back and pick it up when you leave.
Yeah. Be back tomorrow for the debris.
Yep, exactly. Hey, at least you offered to come back and pick it up.
That's right. The
It's
only
not
problem
like you
is
didn't.
The only problem is by offering, now he knows what you look like.
Well, nowadays you got masks on, so,
Oh, no, not anymore. They dropped all that. COVID doesn't exist anymore. Don't you know that? COVID went away as soon as Biden took office.
Well, not only that, it also went away when the war started, too.
That's true. Now, yeah, we've moved on to a war. It isn't our war.
I actually just seen something about him going to Poland today. I don't know why.
They must have better beds so he can take his nap.
Or they don't have stairs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Him and Ford. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We're a little over, so we're gonna head out. So, welcome, Ricky.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back next week, and thanks for listening. Now I gotta turn everything off. It takes me forever to turn everything off.
You'll have that in life.
All right. See you later.